Hello, Taurus. This is your love reading from September 14th to September 21st, 2020. And we're going to jump right into it. We're going to do a more intuitive reading this time. And we're going to focus on, obviously, love. Okay, that's kind of the specialty here. You guys didn't come here because I talk about your accounting futures and, all that stuff. You came here for a reason. And it was to hear me talk about the art of the fart. No, I'm just kidding. Let's get right into it, though. I'm going to shuffle 2 more times, and then we're going to do your reading. Our first question is going to be, how are you guys feeling? So hold that in your minds. How are you guys feeling about love? And then from there, we're just going to sort of intuitively go into it. I'm not going to do pre-scripted questions. Every reading is going to be different. All right, let's do this. First question is, how are you guys feeling about love this week? We get the Knight of Cups in reverse. So, this to me is we're feeling disillusioned. We're feeling like we're not quite there yet. We feel like other people have a better handle on love than we do, and we feel that there's maybe a sense of loss on that part. We feel like we don't fit in. That's how I view the Knight of Cups in reverse. We don't fit in, we don't belong, but really we do. There's just a sense of like, maybe we don't get love. Maybe we don't understand that. And I'm saying I'm a Taurus too. But it's just something where, if we're talking about relationships and love, if you're feeling a disconnect, I feel like this has a huge part of it, where emotionally we're not feeling that connection. And that's something that can be challenging. That's something that can be, but it's something that can be worked on. Any kind of challenge is meant for us to rise to. So we can work on it, we can understand it, and we can grow from it. But let's look at the rest of this. So why are we feeling this way? Maybe because we work too much. I view this card, okay, this is the 3 of Coins. And when I see the 3 of Coins, I see someone who's honing their craft, who's possibly working too much, but it's not in reverse. So how I could view that as the reason we're feeling this way is because we put the time and effort into ourselves, but we don't feel like other people care enough about themselves to put, like, for instance, let's say we read a book a week and we try to self-improve and we focus on exercising. We do everything we can to make ourselves appear, fit and healthy and all that. But let's say that we do that and people that we keep attracting into our lives trash their bodies or they focus on things that aren't really in the... They have very different belief systems on self-care, like they don't brush their teeth or, they only shower every 4 days. Or whatever it happens to be. Maybe it's something you're not into hygienically or... Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, if we put the work into ourselves, we want a partner that will put the work into themselves. And I see this as like, the reason we feel disillusioned is because we're trying hard and we're not getting anywhere with anybody at this point in time. And it feels like other people just get it. Other people are in relationships. Why can't I be in a relationship? Why don't I get to experience that feeling of closeness and intimacy with someone else? Let's keep looking, though. So we get the 3 of Wands, and that 3 of Wands kind of goes into the same thing. So let's take a ship that's right here, and let's turn this into a relationship, okay? And what we're doing is we're on the shoreline, and we're watching this relationship almost come into our shoreline and then leave. And right here, when we're looking at this, we see that it's coming in possibly, but we're not sure. So when I see that, we're looking at something, we're waiting for it to happen, other people have it, and we feel like we want that too. Okay, we want that closeness. So it's the same thing, and it also corresponds with the 3 of Coins. There's 2 3s here. So longing for something to come in, working on yourself, and you're trying to have that be something better. You're hoping that because of this, something good comes of it. And there will. Something good will come of this, but we have to be patient, I feel like, is the main thing. And maybe some of you are recovering from I wonder if some of you watching this are recovering from like carpal tunnel surgery or some kind of surgery my arm right here is starting to hurt, and to me that generally indicates a block, like a physical block somewhere for the readers, or for the people watching this. So let me know down in the comments if you're feeling or you're recovering from something here, and if this resonates with you, because that's always really cool when you guys tell me that, you know, the little things hit. So I really like that. Let's look at this other card though. Yeah, see, at the 5 of coins. So this is feeling like we have to beg for people to stay in our lives, or we have to beg for things that we possibly don't need to beg for. And that actually can lead to this. That disillusioned feeling is like, I don't want to feel like I have to beg. And you don't. You guys don't. You guys are powerful people. But if you feel like you have to do this, then eventually you're going to feel like you're burnt out and you're done. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. If you feel like you're putting in the time and effort and other people are taking advantage, that's not going to help you grow as a person until we realize the pattern that's happening. In what way do we beg for love? In what way do we force people to stay into our lives? Until we address those issues, then we can't move forward. If we're forcing people into our lives, that makes it so that, one, they're not, like, people that are forced to do anything, eventually that turns into resentment. And that'll turn into resentment on your part too, because it's hard. It's hard to beg. It's hard to ask for love. Love should be freely given. It shouldn't be something we beg or even have to ask for. It should be something that's just there, right? So I could sense that there's some bitterness here, for sure, Taurus. I can sense that there's some strong bitterness about how things have been. And you're possibly thinking about how things could be, right? But we can fix that. And that's why we're doing these readings. These love readings are there to help you, okay? And with love, that creates the strongest sense of change, of inner change, than anything I've ever seen. Love can have a stubborn person turn into someone who's more open. It can also do the opposite, depending on the relationship. But it helps us more than anything, and we get to learn from it. We learn things about ourselves in a relationship that we wouldn't learn anywhere else. So, let's keep looking. See, and that's weird too. So 2 3s, and then we have 2 5s. Okay, 5 of Swords. Same thing. 5 of Swords. I view the 5 of Swords, and I think it's a universal thing, but the 5 of Swords is like, I've won, but at what cost, right? So we take this person here. They've won, but at what cost? They're alone. They look scared. I mean, honestly, they look a little scared, a little fearful. So to me, when I look at this card, the 5 of Swords, it's feeling like, maybe even feeling disillusioned with love to the point of being like, okay, well, I'm in a relationship, now what? What do I do now? I'm doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't feel the things I'm supposed to be feeling. And maybe you've been told that love was always something that it wasn't, right? And Hollywood does a good job of that. Being raised with certain kind of parents does a good job at that. So I feel like the best thing that we can do moving forward is actually find out what love is. I mean, we can read psychology books on it. We can learn about attachment styles, different theories. We can do a bunch of things to understand what love is. But I truly do believe that love is a skill that we learn as we go. And we grow, right? I think that that's something that a lot of people, they don't know. And Alain de Botton, I think I'm saying his name right, he writes a School of Life book, talks about love, talks about relationships, really good stuff. And that's a very powerful thing to have in your life. But love is a skill, and I believe that. Okay, let's look at this. Next one, we have the Page of Swords. So possibly someone will be coming into your life. I feel like they will be immature and they'll be rough around the edges. They could be an air sign, so we're looking at Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. Okay, I was having a hard time there for a second. So we're looking at Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. And this person could come into your life. They could show you things you didn't know about yourself. They could be very intellectual, okay? Trying to see if I can get anything psychically here. That's twice now. I feel stitches, or I feel like something with surgery. So some of you that are watching this, if you've had surgery recently, just type it down in the comments. As long as it doesn't hurt to type or whatever. I'm just curious. I get a sense that this person's possibly going to have... The reason I'm bringing up the surgeries and things like that is I feel like this person, when you meet them, might have something with them too. I'm seeing like a broken arm, but they could have something that they're recovering from, a surgery or something. And maybe I'm picking up on their energy. I'm not really sure, but what I do know is that there's an injury somewhere, and it's a physical injury. So, I mean, we'll keep poking and prodding at it till we find it out, you guys. But, yeah, I think, like I was saying, the most important thing for you guys to know, if I can impart any wisdom, and I don't know everything, I don't, but I do want to help you guys. So, focus on learning, like I said, learn love as a skill, not as something that we all inherently know how to do from birth, but as something that we learn as we go and we learn as we grow, right? So learn it as a skill, and the thing with skills are we have to practice them, and we have to learn what that looks like. If we grow up in a narcissistic household, we're not going to understand how love looks. We're not going to understand what that feels like to us because we were raised in an environment where we were told that, you know, being gentle or being soft with ourselves wasn't something we could do. And we could have had violent ways of doing that. So the way that I feel like we move forward in this sense is that we allow ourselves to learn what love is. Maybe from a fundamental level, we learn that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Learning love at any age, learning how to improve ourselves at any age is the best thing we can do for ourselves. Self-improvement, self-investment is so powerful. And all we have is the now, right? So, with that being said, you guys, that is your reading. I love you guys very much, and if this video helped you, please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are subscribed, just unsubscribe and then subscribe again. No, I'm just kidding. But, and like the video if it helped you guys out. So that is your reading, and love you, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.